Survivability. That seems to be the big topic that everyone struggles with in current content. Because let's be honest, it doesn't feel good being the reason why you wiped at that encounter, and nobody likes having their time wasted doing the same encounter over and over again. So in today's video, we're going to be covering a build that will help you survive in current content and content in the future. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the Warlock side of the build today. And don't worry, I will be making a Hunter version and a Titan version of this build, which will each be pinned in the comments for each video if you're interested in them. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off with the main focus of the build, the exotic helmet, the Stag, where whenever you lay and stand inside of a rift, you're going to gain damage resistance until the rift runs out, making it harder for the adds to kill you. And whenever you get low on HP, it's also going to give you Nearly Departed, where you gain a bunch of rift energy. To pair with this exotic, we're going to be using Middletree Dawnblade, also known as Well of Radiance, truly making us a full-on support for the team and ourselves, because we're going to gain access to a few things. One of which being the healing grenades, where whenever we hold our grenade button down, it'll convert it into a healing grenade, allowing us to throw it to either a teammate or ourselves, making this your true panic button if you ever get absolutely low on HP. The other main perk that we're going to be taking advantage on Well of Radiance is going to be Benevolent Dawn, where whenever we empower or heal an ally, it's going to constantly give us rift, grenade, and melee energy back. These two things, your healing grenades and Benevolent Dawn, are going to be your bread and butter for playing Well of Radiance, so get used to them because they're your best friends. Next up for the mods, we're going to be using an arsenal of mods that will amplify our survivability. The main star of the show being Protective Light, which is by far the best mod in the entire game for survivability, hands down. Because whenever your shields are broken, Protective Light is going to consume all stacks of Charged with Light that you currently have and turn it into damage resistance, increasing in strength and duration the more Charged with Light stacks you have at that given point in time. Alone, this could carry you in any content, but that leaves so many spots open for us to add to it to make it better. And one of the most popular ways to gain Charge with Light is just using Taking Charge, where whenever you pick up a Orb of Power, it's going to give you a stack of Charge with Light. Of course, there are multiple different types of Charge with Light mods that will give you Charge with Light. But if we look outside the box a little, we can actually look towards the Warmind Cell mods. Because as of recently, as we know, Warmind Cell mods got a humongous nerf to their radius and overall effectiveness. That doesn't mean they're 100% useless though, because we can use one called Modular Lightning, where whenever we collect a Warmind Cell, that means walk over a Warmind Cell on the ground. When we have this mod equipped, you're going to gobble it up like Pac-Man, and it's going to create a Dune Marcher chain effect around you and every enemy near you. This will 9 times out of 10 instantly kill lower tier mob enemies that are surrounding you. And it will guaranteed stun pretty much anything that is near you that doesn't die, making it a more effective version than the other Charged with Light mod, Reactive Pulse. Except instead of proccing Reactive Pulse by just having enemies near you, you just have to kill a few enemies to create a Warmind Cell. So the game plan from here pretty much follows suit of lay rift down, you have the damage resistance inside of that rift, you have Orbs of Light you can pick up to gain Charged with Light stacks so that you can proc Protective Light if you get too low. And whenever you kill enough enemies, you can stand over a Warmind Cell and create a Dune Marcher effect to wipe out everything near you. For the final icing on top though, we can pretty much experiment with this final slot and use a handful of mods that would help complement this build overall. One of the mods that I do personally really enjoy running with this build is called Warmind's Light, where whenever we collect a Warmind Cell, it's going to give us a stack of Charged with Light, just so that it helps complement Protective Light at the same time as using Modular Lightning. Some other mods you can use in this slot could be like Warmind's Protection, where enemies that are near Warmind Cells you create deal less damage to you, and you can also use Power of Rasputin, where you deal more damage to enemies that are near your Warmind Cells. Realistically, you can just put any mod that complements the build into this slot that helps Protective Light or whatever you're running at that given time. And there might be something that some of you are thinking, what if I don't want to run Warmind Cells? Because that is an option. You don't actually have to run Warmind Cells in this build if you don't want to. And that's the great thing about Destiny 2, we're allowed to experiment with our builds. But if you truly don't run Warmind Cells for this build, I wouldn't look towards the well mods, just because there's not really much that pairs with Well of Radiance as of right now. Because in a real world, you're only going to get to use one well mod that creates wells for Well of Radiance effectively. And it doesn't even create wells that match your subclass type. So my recommendation is just to pile on more Charge with Light mods. And you can just take the easy route of running the kill Charge with Light mods like Precision Charge, Sustain Charge, Swift Charge, Quick Charge, Precisely Charged, and Blast Radius. Then of course just put in something like Supercharged or Charged Up and you're good. For the class item, however, we're going to be taking advantage of, particle deconstruction, because why not? It's the best mod in the game for damage, and we're going to be using something that I personally like running called Focusing Lens. And Focusing Lens has a very interesting interaction with Well of Radiance when you're running it. Because what Focusing Lens does is that it allows you to deal more damage to enemies with your light subclasses when they're affected by something stasis. And in the case of Well of Radiance, when you are standing inside of it and something is hit with stasis, all of your weapons, Solar, Void, and Arc, not stasis, will deal 25% more damage the entire duration of Well of Radiance. The reason stasis weapons don't work is because they are stasis, and Focusing Lens specifically says light subclass damage types. So all you gotta do is make sure that you're not running stasis weapons whenever you use Focusing Lens. But I believe with the mods cleared up, that pretty much covers the video for today. Again, it's a bit of a short one just because of the topic that we're talking about. But to recap, all you gotta do is run Protective Light, get stuff that creates Charge with Light stacks effectively, run Modular Lightning if you can fit it in, and use Stag to increase your durability, at the same time as supporting yourself and your team with Well of Radiance. Remember, if you guys enjoyed the video or you enjoy my build content, then leave a like, leave a comment down in the comment section, anything you want to see me cover in the future, and if you really enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel where we post build content literally every week. Then slap that bell to be notified whenever I got a new build coming out. Also, go support me over at my Twitch. It'll be in the description. I stream over there literally almost every day when I can. But that's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.